Guests at the Duke of Edinburgh's memorial service were discussing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to skip the event, with the late royal's former protection officer describing their excuse for not attending as nonsense. Richard Griffin, who was responsible for the safety of both the Queen and Prince Philip for 14 years, was a guest at today's event but was disappointed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex decided against returning to the UK to pay their respects. Harry has said he's unable to return to the UK due to safety concerns, which have become the subject of his latest legal battle, this time against the Home Office. Speaking to Sky News, Richard said, "William had a great training from Prince Philip, and is going to learn all his examples for him. Fingers crossed, I just hope Harry gets some of these things into his mind." Prince Harry and Prince Philip shared a close bond. Image, Getty Images. Asked about his decision not to attend, he said, "That was a big disappointment for everybody." He also said that members of the 1,800-strong congregation were discussing Harry's absence before the service began. He said, "Certainly around where I was they thought he should have been here. All this nonsense about he couldn't get protection, as far as I am concerned that was a pathetic excuse. He should have been here to honor his grandfather. At the end of the day, if he was that worried about security he could have stuck with his brother and father who have got wonderful security. He would have been more than safe." The rest of the royal family were in attendance. Image, PA. The Queen was escorted to her seat by her son Prince Andrew at Prince Philip's memorial service today. Image, PA. Don't miss. Queen performed most controversial gesture of reign at Philip's memorial, says expert. Prince Andrew's smug behavior at Philip's memorial once again lets down the Queen. Princess Charlotte's adorable exchange with Princess Beatrice at Philip's memorial. Emotional Queen sheds a tear as she pays final tribute to strength and stay Prince Philip. Richard worked for the royal family for over a decade and said today's service captured the Duke perfectly. Speaking about today's event, he said, "To see the Queen come in and sit with her family, that was wonderful. It was very emotional. I worked with Prince Philip for 14 years and traveled the world with him. I did a lot of things with him and deeply missed him. When he died, Prince Philip had a big footprint on the service, you could see it right the way through. It was fantastic to be able to come today and pay our respects. It was a wonderful, wonderful service. He was the most caring man you could possibly meet." Harry and Meghan decided not to fly back to the UK for Tuesday's event. Image, Getty Images. Most read. Ukraine mayor survives rocket assassination attempt because he overslept. Queen performed most controversial gesture of reign at Philip's memorial, says expert. New highway code rules mean you could face a fine for using a mobile even as a passenger. He also shared a story about when his son was diagnosed with cancer and Philip called the hospital to check on him. He also wrote to his wife to check on her and on another occasion arranged transport so Mr. Griffin's daughter could make it home Christmas. Today's event paid tribute to Prince Philip's charity work and decades of service to the Queen and the royal family. The Dean of Westminster delivered a moving speech about the Duke. He said, "He would hate to think that I should paint a picture of him as a plaster saint. Someone without the usual human foibles and failings. He was far too self-aware ever to be taken in by flattery. Of course, it must be said that his life bore the marks of sacrifice and service." Prince William, Kate and children George and Charlotte leave the service. Image, AFP via Getty Images. Certainly, he could show great sympathy and kindness. There is no doubt that he had a delightfully engaging, and often self-deprecating, sense of humor. It is quite clear that his mind held together both speculation and common sense. Moreover, nobody would ever doubt his loyalty and deep devotion to our Queen and to their family. Yet, there were times when he could be abrupt, maybe, in robust conversation, forgetting just how intimidating he could be. A kind of natural reserve sometimes made him seem a little distant. He could be somewhat sharp in pricking what he thought to be bubbles of pomposity are. On the other hand, we should not forget that he himself was sometimes wounded by being unfairly criticized or misunderstood. Like the rest of us, he was part of flawed humanity. Unlike most of us, however, he was one of those rare people who remained true to, and guided by, what you might call, an inner spiritual compass, a sense of being called to play a part in the making of a God-intended world. As we give thanks for the life of a remarkable man, perhaps our greatest tribute to him, most especially in these far too troubled times, will be for us to accept the challenge, implicit in his life, to rekindle in our hearts something of that call, and to pray, as I think he did, for the inspiration and the guidance to play our part, however small, in working for a kinder future. Read more. Emotional Queen sheds a tear as she pays final tribute to strength and stay Prince Philip. Read more. Princess Beatrice breaks down in tears at memorial service to grandfather Prince Philip.